So it's a Saturday night. What are you planning on doing?
You are now listening to Limited Trust, a Devastator podcast. Let's get into it.
Episode 81, Limited Trust, a Devastator podcast. I'm back again. Did you miss me? Yes. I know the answer is yes. It's probably not. I don't know what the fuck that sound is. I don't know if you can hear it or not. But all of a sudden, apparently, it's time to start making sounds. It sounds like a fucking tape measure, but I'm not really sure. So, just to get it out of the way first, I think there's maybe one or two Rosary Scribes left. If you're listening to this right now on Friday when this episode came out, might be one or two left. And the always available t-shirt is fucking live, man. So if you are looking to get a fucking t-shirt, getting into springtime, fucking go grab that. And like the title of the product says, it will always be available. That is going to be our non-limited piece. Mainly because of me. Because I know a lot of people, they get upset, or they have been, when they see like an old shirt posted, and they're like, damn, yo, let me get that. I'm like, nah, sorry, this shit's gone. But see, then my fucking stupid ass, yeah, what a great business model. Now all this shit that I don't fit into anymore. So, and just if you fucking ruin it, that's it. It's a wrap. So this one, at least, I won't feel so bad if I fucking ruin them, and I'll cut the sleeves off in the summertime, which I never did with any of the other ones because I want to ruin them, you know what I mean? So anyway, so now that we got that out of the way, this episode is going to be dedicated. This is not dedicated, but this is going to be, I know everyone likes the So You Want to Be an Ink Man, or fucking So You Want to Be an Ink Man Volume 1, 2, 6, 7, 8. Well, this episode is going to be So You Want to Be the Ink Brand. All right. And what I'm going to do, and I'm sorry if I lost you already and you're like, yeah, nah. If you enjoy my banter, you'll probably like this. And maybe you'll have something to take from this as well. But recently, as of like since the last episode, I've multiple people, more than two, coincidentally get a hold of me and want to not pitch their brand to me, but they were pitching a product, I guess. I'm also got a drink right now, so sorry. I was fucking thirsty. And of course, it's fucking polar seltzer water, so you got to deal with that too, excuse me. So they wanted to, I got a product, fucking, how do I make this a brand? How do I make this? And I know I've talked about it over over 80, the last 80 episodes here and there. But I wanted to make a go-to. So when I get asked, when I get asked these things, I can say, everything you need to know is right here. Now, this could probably be done in a YouTube video, aside from this platform. But I figured this is good for everybody. And it's easier for me to come here and be myself and just talk about shit, and and shout out to fucking Timmer Loco. He said he likes listening to me just fucking riffing and going. So fuck with you, man. Thank you. So I figured it would be easier for me to talk about this without like a time constraint, or I'm trying to pack everything into a video, and then, obviously I have to make a accompanying video, when I can just say, here, go listen to this, and this will fucking tell you everything you need to know. So at the end of this, or somewhere, I'm going to say somewhere in this, I'm going to be telling all of the Devastator recipes. All of it. The rust, the violet, the fucking everything. It's all going to be in there, all the formulas, everything. I'm not going to tell you where, though, because then you'll just skip to that, and then you won't take anything from this episode except for the recipes. So if this is you, if you're the person, if you're one of the people, if you are going to be, if you receive this link to this fucking thing right here, this is for you. So start taking notes. Be somewhere where you can sit down and really absorb all this like a fucking little sponge that you are, and just fucking take it all in. All right, so we'll just start right out of the gate. So you got a product, right? Do you even have a product? Well, first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to do massive testing on your own. Now, one of these people, this fucking chair, man, one of these people pitched a fucking concept to me, which, okay, whatever. And I said, you do know that this already does exist, right? So first things first, brand awareness 101. Do you think you're inventing the wheel? Okay, make sure that whatever you're inventing, if it does exist, you acknowledge its existence first, okay? So it's not a bad thing. It's not bad to create something that's already been created. Everything under the sun has been created at one point or another. So it's not like you're going to be faulted for starting to make some ink. But be aware, okay? Now the kid that reached out to me he said I got an idea to make an ink that rusts metal so it's unbuffable. All right, well, you and fucking 25 other, that's like the hot thing right now, dog. So clearly you don't know anything about your space, the space that you're trying to get into. Because, I could probably think of 6 fucking rusts off the fucking top of my head, like. Anyway, so you got your brand, you got your you got your idea, you got your concept, you got your product. You're going to want to do lots of testing before you go anywhere. All right, lots of tests. And this isn't, you don't have to video document and post it all to Instagram. All right? Because if you do, you got to be ready to post your fucking failures if this shit's whack. Because people are going to be skeptical if you just come out and your video is just this fucking crazy shit. Or anyway, people are going to be skeptical regardless. So do all your testing. Get a notebook. Fucking any kind of, don't get a half notebook with a bunch of other shit in it, and grocery lists or fucking high school fucking notes or whatever the fuck. Get a fucking blank notebook. This is going to be your thing while you're doing this process. And you're going to write down every fucking thing that you do when you're making these products. Now let's talk about liquid products. We're just going to strictly stick to inks, paints, whatever the fuck you want to call it for this part. You're going to want to document everything. Now, with documenting comes measuring. So you're going to want to get some sort of measuring devices, whether that's measuring cups, fucking a scale, even though scales don't really they're not really typically used for volume measuring because it's just different anyway. But you're going to need something to calculate all of these results. If you're adding fucking an ounce of pigment a dry ounce of pigment as opposed to a fucking fluid ounce of pigment. You're going to want to be able to calculate all this shit. So you're going to want measuring cups. Even if you just get like a big fucking sleeve of like the little medicine cups where you would fucking pour cough syrup and shit. And you can still, two of those 60 milliliters is 2 ounces, which is like a typical standard mop. So you can do a lot of calculating with those type of tools, right? So you're going to want to test all this shit. And you're going to want to keep notes of everything that you're making and have a baseline product and then alter it. Now, what I would do is I would take these, whatever it was, if I got my base, let's just say you're using a black ink from fucking some shit you bought online off of eBay for a printer or something. So you're going to want to have your solid, your control base where that is unaltered. You're going to put that on your test board, paper, whatever the fuck, the actual shit. Then you're going to say you got 4 additives that you're going to add to this mix. You're going to want to add 1 additive, stir, mix, shake, whatever you do. Put that on your test board. You're going to want to put the second additive, test board, the third additive, test board, fourth additive, test board, or even just on its own, whether you want to do each individual or a smudge of each one, whatever it is. And then you could even, and then you have to keep an eye on your results on all of those. What's the finish look like? Is it shiny? Does one of the things that you added, does it dull what you're making? Does it make it a matte finish? Does it get it crusty? Is it chunky when it dries? When you run your finger across it, does it crumble? Is it sticking? Is it, whatever it is. All of these things you got to fucking really pay attention to, because if you make, we're just going to say 32 ounces. If you make a quart of your mix, you add all these fucking things to it, and it sucks, right? It's like does something. On paper, it looks like it. You just put a bunch of pigment and some other shit in there. On paper, it shouldn't be turning crusty, like an actual crust on the ink. It shouldn't be doing that. Well, so what is it? Well, you put fucking 10 things in there. What one is making it do that? You're not gonna fucking know. So then that whole 32 ounces is obviously a fucking waste. And then you're not even going to know how not to do that again. So I always go through that. Every fucking thing you've ever seen, every ink, fucking standard fluid, metal, etch, whatever the fuck, anything I've ever tried, there's always been the control, the base, where it starts when I add shit, and I test every single time just to get the results that I'm looking for or that I'm happy with, or just to get to a certain point where I know it's not fucked up and it passes as something, you know what I mean? Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense, but to me it makes sense. So now that you've done your testing, right? And you are happy with your results, and it seems like it's something. You're gonna want to figure out a way, whatever it is, little bottles, fucking big bottles. I used bottles and washed them out for fucking a long, long time. What you don't want to do is spend a ton of money on. You're going to want to spend as little as possible in this process right here, because you're going to want your money to go into, if this does turn into something, your packaging or whatever. So you're going to want to get this shit into bottles after you figured out what it's best for. Does it not work in fucking pump markers? Sometimes it doesn't. Don't force the shit. If it doesn't work in a pump marker, it's not going to fucking work in that. Okay, usually tend to be heavy pigment or oil based, the fucking linseed oil, boiled linseed oil shit tends to not really run too good in pumps. Some people will say it does. They just give you a bunch of thin down bullshit. Yeah, it does, maybe a little bit for now. Anyway, so you figure out what it's going to work in, and you need to give that shit to your friends. You need to give that shit to your friends. If you don't have any fucking friends that do graffiti, you need to get on fucking graffiti Instagram, start adding motherfuckers, start talking to people, and start finding people who you can give this shit to. because you want real world results, and you want these results. You could start locally, and because you're more familiar with your climate and what your local whatever does as the buff, you're going to be familiar with that. So you could definitely start, and yourself too. Go out, use the shit, and give it to your friends. And because people do different shit, people write on different things. Like you might see something and you'd be like, oh, I ain't gonna write on that because it's this. Well, this other guy, he don't give a fuck. He's gonna write on that shit. It might look wonky or whatever, but then you can see how it does. And tell these people that you give it to, if you can, document. I don't want nothing for this shit. Document your results. That's all I want. Send me some pictures. If you can, send me pictures the next day. Or if you come back in a month and it's fucking totally wiped and there's no sign of a buff, it just sun faded or the shit fucking dried and flaked off, whatever. That's going to be your payment is this feedback. Now I started mixing. I started giving that shit out. And I know I said this 100 times, but this is for new people. It took me a year. It was a fucking year that I gave the shit out and also went out and got all these results and got the feedback from all the people that I gave it out to. Fucking gave it to them. It will be a loss at first. This is a loss. And it's going to be a loss because you're not going to get, the only return is going to be information, which is good. It's valuable. It's worth something. But finance-wise, it's a loss. So be ready for that initial loss. And be ready, whatever you buy, whatever you fucking put all into it, that shit is gone. All right? And it's not, don't be upset. That's what it is. So after you get that all back and if the results are no good, then back to the fucking drawing board. Then you either need to learn how to thicken your mix or thin it or make it better. Well, you have to fix the problems that people are complaining about. First, you try to duplicate them yourself, and then you have to try to fix the problem. Now, in all of these scenarios that I'm pitching right now, a lot of these are hypothetical because my journey is not the same as Club Ghoul's journey, is not the same as Premium's journey, who's not the same as Crink's journey, who's not the same as Machine Studios, or it's all different. So I can't just say like this is the way it's gonna be. You might get something right the first fucking time and it's a fucking hit. And I'm not saying that's not possible. But I'm just kind of hypothetically trying to use these scenarios. Okay? So anyway, so if you don't hit it out of the park and your results come back like, oh, this shit's too runny or this shit's this, and the whole time, remember that notebook? You're documenting all of this. You're documenting, fucking, I gave fucking Taro batch 3. He said it's too thick. So, and in my notes, I got Taro got batch 1, 2, 3. Silo got batch 3, 4, 5. True got 5, 6, 7, whatever. And then you come back and update it. Fucking batch 4, 5, 6 is fucking is too thick. It's too thin. And then you go back even further to your notes when you made all this shit. Batch 1, 2, 3 is made like this. Batch this is made with this. So then you could look at all this. Now, if you're already losing interest in what I'm saying right now, and you're the fucking want to be the fucking ink man, you want to be the ink brand, then hang it the fuck up. This isn't for you. This is not for you. This is a must. You have to do this shit if you want to get anywhere. And the only reason I even wanted to do this is because there's somebody out there that's fucking taking the time with me, and they're fucking taking their time, which is a precious fucking commodity, and they're helping me get to the next level. So instead of just shitting all over the next guy, like a lot of times I want to have some sort of document to give to them, whether it's, this obviously an audio document. So that's why I'm here. I don't want you to think it's just like, oh, here's me about to be talking this high and mighty shit, because you never heard me say my shit's the best at all. It's fucking not. But this is how I got to where I'm at. And whether you think where I am is a good place, or I'm still low, or I'm still wherever that is, that's where I am. Wherever you are, there, or what is it? Whatever you are, there I am. Whatever the fuck that saying is. So now you've made your adjustments. it's time for your second handout of testing between yourself and whoever else. So now Taro, True, Silo, Else, they all got batch number 9. Damn, everyone hits you back. Batch number 9 is fucking tits. Batch number 9, tits, tits, tits. All right, cool. You're going to want to let all your shit sit in the mop for a while and see what happens. During, middle, in use, after use. Label all those fucking mops that are full of your shit. This is batch 1. This is batch 2. This is batch. I used to date this shit. So I knew when I filled that fucking mop. So you know. So then when you got all that shit laying around and you're like, well, this one's sucking in on itself. This one fucking is still, whatever. Which one is this? Well, you got to have it all documented. So after you've documented, now you're, okay, you might have something here. So batch number 9 is a hit, right? It's working. Everyone says it's working. Now make batch number 10 exactly the same as batch number 9. Do the exact same thing. Hand that out. Without saying this is the same exact fucking thing. You might even only have to hand it to 2 people. You might not even need the full spectrum because you duplicated your results. Now you gave it back out and you want to see if the results come back the same. If they come back, yeah, this shit's fire. This shit's good too. This shit is, oh yeah, I like that. All right, then you know you're onto something. Okay. So now you have a product. You have a product. Whatever it is it paint? Did you make some ink? Whatever it is, you have the product. Have you been thinking of a name? Are you going to go with some fucking textbook, fucking streets, fucking blah, 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 whatever the fuck? Are you going to have a creative name? Are you going to have a name that means something to you? Is it going to be your signature shit with your fucking actual name on it? Fucking Joe XYZ 123 Inc. Whatever it is. All right. Make sure it sounds good. Don't have some dumb shit. Have something, and you know what? And sometimes I think Devastator's kind of dumb, but I like it because of why I like it. So if you got something that might sound kind of dumb, but it's because you like it, do your thing. But make sure that it's marketable in some way. Make sure that you can, whatever, because you can do your thing so, to a certain point. But then if you want to start taking people's money, their hard-earned money, they don't want it to be fucking jerk-off's fucking cum sauce or some bullshit like that. You know what I mean? Like that's fucking, you got to think of the long run here. If you're really thinking about this now, if you're still here listening to this, you are already saying, okay, I'm not going to name it jerk-off's fucking cum sauce because that's fucking stupid. Right? So you're still here. You haven't fucking shut this off yet. You're going to want to make a page. I don't know if you're on Facebook. I don't know if you're on Twitter, X. I don't know if you're on Instagram, Threads, Snapchat, fucking Face Space, whatever the fuck you're on. Start making all that shit. You're going to want to make an email that corresponds with the name of your shit. You're going to want to find a platform to sell this on. I do not recommend, and this is just from me doing this, I don't recommend the non-site sales. If nobody knows you and you're new and this is your new shit, don't expect anyone to just hop on PayPal and start handing you fucking money. It's not gonna happen. Cash at me, nah. You gotta fucking pony up. You can get a small e-commerce site for like $10 a month, maybe 15, maybe 20, whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? But people are going to be way more comfortable. It's better for you. It's better for them if they're comfortable with something that's professional. If you're going to be selling this shit. So now you're at the point you got your name. Get your fucking e-commerce set up. Get your Facebook page. Get your fucking Instagram, your YouTube. Get whatever you're going to do. Whatever you feel like you can manage. Now remember, every one of these you make, you have to manage and update and keep a fucking eye on. And that, so don't overwhelm yourself. Devastator was a fucking Instagram forever. But I only did the fucking Facebook thing so I could make fucking ads because I couldn't without it. So you got to do that. So now start adding people. Start fucking getting content from those people that you sent this shit out to. Start using some of these pictures. Start building a page. start commenting, start fucking, hey, hey, my friends, this, that, whatever, add this. Now you got to start from that fucking 0 followers fucking perspective. And it's difficult and it's daunting and it's fucking, you look at it and you go, fuck. I remember when I had like 120 followers and I was like, yo, this is fucking cool. And I came from a place, Devastator came from a place where I was known and respected for good business. And I always have been. So I had like this, I came in with a reputation that your money was safe with me. Regardless of whatever it was, whether, I was doing the blue top sales and shit, or your personal information, whatever, it's safe with me. So I had an advantage going into this space where you might not. If you're known and you already got a following on your personal page and shit, and people know you, people fuck with you, you do trades or, whatever it is, then you're good. Then start pushing your page through that page. And if people know that you're good, then they're going to come and rock with you and support you and they're going to share it. So start building this fucking brand. All right. Start that. And you have to start from 0. And if you want to start and put shit up for sale, do that. But as soon as you click that fucking publish button on these products, you got to be ready. You got to have your name. You got to have your packaging. You got to understand how shipping works. You got to have all this stuff. So while you're setting up this branding, while you're setting up your social media, while you're setting up all this shit, you're going to want to be getting familiar with all these different things. You're going to want to get familiar with how to ship and what it costs to ship and what's the easiest and best shipping available options and how much are you going to exactly tell the USPS or UPS or whatever what you got in these fucking packages. All right, you got to figure all this out. And charge accordingly, too. Don't lose on shipping. So make sure you're familiar with all the pricing and how you're going to do it. A good way to start, if you want to, a good way to start is flat rate envelopes. Flat rate across the board. Because then you know exactly what it's going to be. You know exactly what to charge. And you can fit as much as you can fit in an envelope. And it's a good size envelope. Anyway, so you're going to want to have a good idea of all that, because people do not want to wait 2 fucking weeks for an item to ship. They don't even like to wait 2 fucking days for an item to ship. 100%. I will tell you this. If you start selling shit online, there will be people, I don't give a fuck how many times you write it on your fucking website, it will ship in X amount of days. There will be people within the hour at some point in your career that will say, when is my shit? When do I get my tracking? When do I get my... I put right in the fucking thing, don't fucking bother me unless it's been longer than fucking 6 days and you haven't got a fucking shipping email. Don't fucking bother me. And I still get bothered at least once a week. At fucking least once a week. So and don't be discouraged by that either. Make sure you have all this set. Now this is all, I'm telling you all this. Have all of this ready. You need to have all this ready. You got to have it all ready. You got to know. You got to have your disclaimers. You got to have your fucking, you got to know how to talk to people. And you got, your shit's got to look decent. You know what I mean? Whether you're, whatever. Got to have all your shit in order before you hit that publish button on the fucking website. All right? So now you're selling, right? Now you're selling. You're going to start getting people that message you saying, where's the recipes? Oh, how'd you make this? How'd you make that? How did you do this? How did you do that? I have this. I'm trying to do this. Don't ever tell anyone your shit. If you want to help them, if you want to do whatever, don't ever tell anyone your fucking shit. That should be the first rule of this. Because there's a reason why, what is it, a fucking KFC, 11 herbs and spices? You know, the Coca-Cola formulas in a fucking vault that only one person has the code to, or 2 people, or whatever the fuck. Regardless, the information's out there. But you don't tell anyone what you're doing. You spend a lot of time and effort and money and fucking around to get to this point to just give it out to people. And I'm sure where you got your information is where anyone else could get the information. They just have to do the work. So don't fucking give that shit out to anybody. Keep it to yourself. I don't give a fuck if they promise to teach you everything about the ink making game if you just tell them this recipe. Don't do it. Keep it to yourself. If they bait you in with something like that. All right. So now you're selling shit, right? Your shit's all right. It's selling. You make your first sale. Get that shit wrapped up nicely. Get it out. Have your window, whatever it is, mine is 3 to 6 days. And sometimes I wish it was more. Sometimes it's less. Sometimes I can get it out that same day, depending on what it is. But I give myself a fucking window where, regardless of what's happening in my life, at some point in the next 6 days, I am going to find the fucking time to make everything happen and get you on your fucking way. Now, another reason why you want to have an e-commerce platform is because they handle a lot of things, such as shipping and getting people their tracking and sending emails to say, your item has been shipped. Here's a tracking number. Also, what I learned way too fucking late is print your own postage. You're going to have to invest in a nice 4x6 printer. It doesn't even have to be nice, whatever. You're going to want to invest in a 4x6 printer. You're going to want to print your own shipping. Okay? You're going to save a lot of money that way. You're going to want to save as much money as possible. You're going to want to, because you're going to now you want to start this brand, right? So now you have a product, you're pushing it through a brand name. Well, now you need some fucking branding. You're going to have to do some other shit, and you're going to need some money for some other shit. So you got to start doing that. You got to start coming up with products. What are you going to do? Are you going to be strictly fucking graffiti fluids? Are you going to be graffiti fucking shit? Are you going to sell some split streaks on the side? Are you going to go all out and fucking offer Montana products? What are you doing? You're going to have a fucking, what is your plan? You got to have that all fucking ready. You got to know what you're going to do, and you're going to need money for that. All right. So, and it's gonna, believe me, you're going to need fucking money. And it's difficult. It took me years for Devastator to pay for itself. And then sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes Devastator does not pay for itself, and I got to reach in my fucking pocket and take care of shit. I've been fortunate in the last couple of years and had ups and downs, but usually it's running itself pretty well where it pays for itself. And that's what you want it to do. At the very least, you want to break even. You're not going to make $1 million fucking dollars doing it. Believe me, I'm fucking not. I'm not. It's not. If you're getting into this because you think you're about to make a lot of money, you are not going to make any fucking money. You're not. Unless you're fucking people, and you might fuck a handful of people and then your run's over with, all right? So you definitely got to do that. So now we're up and running. You're selling shit. Now you're going to want to keep up with the fucking Joneses, and you got to keep products fresh. You got to keep it coming out. You got to take nice pictures. You got to take nice media. You got to get fucking field photographs from people who are using this shit actively. Now, at this point, I'm guessing that you've already got your bottles situated, what you're going to pack your refills in, or your mops or whatever. You got some labels made up. Also, what I will tell you, and this is just for me, and sometimes I get shit because of my labels and shit. You're going to really want to make this as cost efficient as possible, the entire thing from top to bottom, because it costs a lot of money. Now you can have Machine Studio. Machine Studio will print you fucking the most ill fucking laminated split back stickers to put on your fucking bottles. They will kill it. They will. And now you're going to take that sticker, you're going to put it on a bottle, you're going to send it to somebody, they're going to dump it all over the place and throw it in the fucking garbage. All right. So how much do you have invested in the bottle, the mixing ball, the label? Because that's going to be a one-time use. You're going to fill it, they're going to dump it and throw it in the trash. 9 times out of 10. I do know some people who have bottles with partials and shit like that, or they save it because it's a limited edition. There are people out there with collections of limited edition fucking Devastator bottles and labels and shit, which is cool to see. But the majority of all your just regular shit is going to get thrown in the fucking garbage. So how much do you want to pay? Do you want to spend $1 on the bottle? Do you want to spend $1 on the sticker? Or do you want to spend, you know what I mean? And now you're $2.50 in. That's before you even pour whatever, before you even pour a fucking drop into there. So all this stuff, you got to really be price shopping, and you got to really figure out a lot of stuff on your own. You probably start eBay and Amazon like everybody, but then you're going to want to start getting out there and getting accounts with these websites that handle packaging and handle shit like this. And you don't want to take your bottles and your inks and your paints and whatever the fuck and just throw them in an envelope. You're going to want some protection, so you're going to need some bags. Then you're going to need, you want some stickers to put in there, or a sticker or whatever the fuck. Keep it simple. Keep it fucking simple. Because if you start loading up every package with all this shit and someone orders from you, you're like, yo, look, I got all this extra shit. People are going to expect that every fucking time. They will expect it every single time. It doesn't matter. They're going to be like, oh, no stickers this time, only one, whatever. So I try not to do that either. I do what I do, and that's fucking what it is. You know what I mean? And it's for everybody. If I loaded up everything like that every single time, I wouldn't have money to do the next project, like shirts that just came out. You know what I mean? That's because I try to be fucking thrifty and I try to plan things accordingly. So you got all this, you're running, you got pictures, you got this, and you're hopefully building your fucking following. And I want you to remember back. I want you to remember back to when I said people are going to want to ask you for the recipes and never give them to anybody. Well, I'm not giving you any fucking recipes. So if you listen to this whole thing and you are hoping that at some point of this episode there's going to be the recipes for everything, there's not. But I just kicked you 35 minutes of free fucking game on how to get to where you need to be, so you can tell people that you're not giving them your fucking recipes. So I hope this helped you a little bit. I know it's just me rambling about basic shit that you should already know. But if you made it this far, then maybe you weren't just greedy to get the Violet recipe, which is fucking out there. It's out there. Put it together. Do your fucking research. Sit down, research all this shit. Sit down and fucking ask goddamn Google if someone makes a rust fucking ink. Take 3 fucking seconds before you think you fucking invented something new to ask the fucking Google if this has been done before. And if it has, that's fine. But don't come to fucking me talking about, yo, listen to this. It's got 4 wheels. It's got 2 pedals. One of them stops. One of them goes. And you control it. It's got 5 wheels, actually, because one of them bitches is a steering wheel. I'm like, oh, you know what's funny? I think I heard of something like that before. Don't be like that, okay? And don't fucking be online. You could tell I'm old because I say online, but don't be begging for fucking recipes and mixes and this and that. You look like a fucking fool, and us makers who are in the cut, we secretly make fun of that type of shit. Okay? Don't be like that. If you need help, if you need guidance, I had a guy fucking tell me the other day, he was like, what the fuck did he say? Oh, I'm making my own shit out of gasoline and fucking something or other and da-da-da-da. And I was like reading it. I'm waiting to see like, how do I do this or how do I do that or what? And he just said, yo, because of you, I decided to make my own shit. Sounds dangerous as fuck. I mean, it probably is. But he just said, yo, I just want to let you know that you fucking encouraged me, or, you inspired me to try to create something. And I don't know, maybe he was asking a bunch of other people. He didn't ask me, and he still didn't. And I fucked with that. I was like, yo, fucking go for it. And I don't have any problem with anyone doing their fucking thing. All right. And again, at 38 minutes, if you're still here, don't fucking come out and say your shit is buff proof. Don't come out and say your shit is the best. Don't come out and say you're better than everybody else. The fucking kid with the rust ink or whatever the fuck. If you're listening to this, shout out to you, dog. But you came out and said, your exact words were, how do I convince people that my shit is the best on the fucking market, or whatever the fuck you said. It was, the word that stuck out to me the most was convince. You shouldn't have to convince anyone of anything. All right. Your product should be its own salesman. And if you're a salesman behind it, that's fine. But in this niche that we're all in, the product has to do the talking. And you know what? Sometimes people just like for you, or they're your friend and they fuck with you, and maybe the product doesn't do all the talking, but that only goes so far. You know what I'm saying? So there has to be a balance, but you don't need to be out there, yo, hey, listen, swear, it's the best, swear. All right, yeah. And I think I started out with him. He said, I'm going to make the best shit that's anyone ever seen. And I said, that's what everybody says, because it's true. And that's what I thought too. And I thought this shit was going to be easy. I was like, oh yeah, I'll be able to do this. And if you've been with Devastator, you know, I started this shit out of necessity. It wasn't because I thought I was about to get rich. You know, I couldn't afford products to do graffiti with. So I was like, I'll fucking make my own. And then I was like, oh, well, maybe I'm okay at this. Maybe other people might want to use this shit. And then it just grew from there. So if you're coming from a genuine place, I got a feeling that you'll be much better off. But if you're coming for the get rich quick, I'm about to make the best. If you seen a couple of posts from someone somewhere who had these real controlled results and this and that and da-da-da-da-da, just stop while you're ahead, man. It's not worth it. It's really not worth it. If you're not in this shit to be the best all the way around, it's not fucking worth it. And maybe I shouldn't say it like that, to be the best. But if you're in this strictly to make a fucking bankroll, you gotta go. You gotta go. And people will see that. They will sniff that shit the fuck out. They'll be like, oh no, this is all just some cash grab bullshit. And times are fucking tough. So if someone's spending their fucking hard-earned ducats on what you got to offer, that means you might really got something there. And you don't know these people. It's not your cousin and your aunt and your uncle. Even though my cousin, my aunt, and my uncle all buy shit. Shout out to them. But so if you found this informative, I'm sorry if I fucking broke you off about the recipe shit. But you know, that's not the way this works. But I really do wish you new Ink Men, new Ink brand. I wish you guys the best. And maybe we'll make a series out of this where I try to tell you what's worked for me as somebody else has told me what's worked for them. And I can't give it all to you because I don't know it all, because I'm not shit. But I can tell you what's worked so far and what I'm working on. But I can't just give it all to you. I'm not gonna make a whole thing of just giving this all to you. I shouldn't say that. I don't want to lead you down the wrong path, because I'm not in no position to do that. But I can definitely try to help you get in the right direction of what I did personally for this very specific line of work that I've found myself in. Does this make sense? Because I can't, because I'm not a mentor. I've been taken under somebody's wing for business and for how things work and how they operate. And I am a fucking clueless college dropout. I guess you would call it a college dropout, right? I went to one semester and never went back. I don't know, but I'm in no position. So I shouldn't have said that. Maybe I said that with a little too much conviction. like I'm about to start the course, because I'm not qualified. But I do know a guy who is qualified, and I really hope that he does fucking start doing courses. I hope that's where that, because he fucking is official. He knows his shit, and I strive to be that. So maybe I'm getting a little too big for my, the shoes are a little too big. But I don't want to be a total negative fucking, yeah, you're fucked, bro. But I will tell you if you're doing something that makes you fucked. So listen, try to learn, try to save money, save your money, write down everything. Mix your shit well. Don't waste a bunch of money on bullshit. Try to get by as simple as possible. And just keep pushing, keep taking those pictures, take those videos, use that social media to your advantage. And shit, maybe one day I'll be like, yo, let me get that recipe. Because I've asked motherfuckers before, and I think I said this before, where I'm in a place where I feel like if I tell you and you're the other guy, and I'm like, yo, how the fuck did you do that? Where, I mean, me personally, I'm so fucking paranoid to the point where I would never ask somebody like what they did or what they used and then come out with that shit, because social media and all that shit is one screenshot away from you looking like a total fucking cheese dick. So I could see like, yo, how'd you make that shit work like that so good? Da, 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 da. Oh, and then I go and make it and put it out. And then they're like, yo, look, here's dickhead Kyle over here asking me how I made it, and go figure, fucking 2 weeks later, he's got his shit. But I have asked people like, yo, I'm making this. What do you think about this? Or how did you, or even stuff I was just like, yo, how the fuck did you make it do that? That's pretty cool. Oh, you made your shit, do this or whatever. Oh, how'd you do that? Then I come out with it. Nah, that ain't me. That's not me. That ain't me. That ain't me. That's it. I'm getting cold out this motherfucker. So I'm about to go in and watch some Police. I'm about to go watch people have a shitty Friday. Get your branding up, son. I love you guys, man. Yo, shout out Big Draco. Shout out to you, man. Shout out Timmer. He's making some kill. I can't wait to get the studio done to hang the piece that he made for me up. So fucking fire. Shout out Dick. I hope you're doing all right off the gram. Maybe it's better for the mind to be off the gram. I sometimes wish I could be off the gram. Shout out Machine Studio for being a fucking positive influence in the graffiti culture. I see big things for Machine Studio because it's just a whole winning staff and a whole winning attitude, and I love it. And shout out to you if you want to be the Ink Man and you're still listening to this at 45 minutes. Maybe you'll get somewhere, young player. And no, I'm not about to come in at the end and be like, so here's the recipe. It's all out there, Chief. Swear. And don't ever say your shit's the best, because it's not. And another thing, quick, if you're still here, don't ever bullshit. If you do a buff test and it's a total failure, don't not post it. Post it. Post your failures. Don't ever tailor the shit to look like it's something that it's not. Don't do it. It's not good for business. Because people are going to get their hands on it. And believe me, once enough people say that this shit's bullshit, it's garbage, it doesn't work, then they don't care what your fucking video does. You know what I mean? If it's whack, it's not ready. If it's alright, maybe it's ready at the right price. If it's good, it does what you say it's going to do, then it's good and it's ready. But don't tailor the fucking results. Don't fill your fucking acetone bottle with water and be like, look, doesn't do anything. Don't be a fucking piece of shit like that. Nothing's unbuffable. I'll fuck your buff up. Send me your hardest shit, bitch. I've done so much buff tests. I know how to buff all this shit. I seen that Rack Ink or whatever the fuck. I seen they were doing some etch and in the fucking the fuck was it? He said something like this unbuffable, but I mean, dude, it's common knowledge that etch is a big pain in the ass and it's expensive, but they have whole services where guys come out and take that shit off. So don't say shit like that. Don't fucking say shit like that. It is. Everything is buffable. Everything I have is buffable. I'll tell you how to buff everything that I made. Like, I can tell you that. I don't give a fuck. Standard damage fluid, paint over the shit. It's gone. Violet, give it a wipe down, a chemical wipe down. Prime it with like some sort of primer. Not just, you can use paint too, but primer. Roll a coat, maybe 2. It might take a little bit, but it can be got. But the chemical wipe first. Get all the pigment off the surface. Get as much as you can off of the surface. And then go for the paint. Okay? The etch, the rust, the metal etch, take a fucking piece of fucking sandpaper, any grit, and you'll get it there. You'll get it there. You know what I mean? Nothing's unbuffable, dog. I don't give a fuck who it is. I don't give a fuck if it's fucking Illidel, if it's Sweden Inc. or whatever the fuck, or if it's Oink, or if it's whatever. There's a fucking weak link in every fucking chain, and everybody has their kryptonite. And the ones that pretend like they don't, they're the most insecure. My shit is not fucking all of that, but it does the fucking trick. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for always being here with me and listening to me and fucking supporting me. And I really love you. And it's warming up. So we're going to get True Chains back in the fucking building, because now that it's getting warm, and I'm trying to work on Mike Do. I don't think he even listens anymore, because I don't hear him fucking hollering back. So I love you guys. I'm out of here.